What is going on, folks? I just finished watching the 49er game, and they lost it in the last seconds of the game, last 2 minutes and 30 something seconds in the game. I don't understand. I just don't understand. I know Bosa went down, and then they were able to move the ball. I get that. But to be able to go the whole game, if for whatever reason the offense struggled, they couldn't put up more than a touchdown. But to go the whole game and then lose it in the last minute, oh boy. And the Niners, as a 49er fan myself, we want to go to the Super Bowl. I don't see us going to the Super Bowl if we're going to play football like this. There was a stat during the game that they brought up on the television, and it showed that the Niners and the Bengals are one of the worst teams in the last 2 minutes of the game. Both teams have aspirations to go to the Super Bowl, and it's not going to happen like that. It's just not going to happen. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. We're just going off of my thoughts of the game right now. Appreciate everybody for coming. I don't accept the outcome of this game. I mean, you have to accept it. It happened, right? But I don't accept it as a 49er fan. I think they can do way better. You cannot really blame this on special teams this time, ironically. Is it hard or is it bad to say, where are you? And like point to certain players and say, hey, where are you? You didn't show up. At a certain point, yes. If they would have won the game, I think we still can do that and say, hey, you didn't show up. I can't blame this on defense. I can't blame this on Bosa leaving the game. Although, again, when he left the game, Seattle was able to move the ball. So that's interesting. But the offense, if it wasn't for Brock Purdy trying to imitate Steve Young out there, I don't think we would have had very much production at all, didn't it? I really don't. If he wasn't able to move around, we wouldn't have converted really hardly anything. I seen Juwan Jennings show up and CMC a sprinkle here or there. I don't know what happened to Jordan Mason. He was in the game and then he left. Debo, I don't know if we need to call him Debo anymore. He's not showing up. I think he needs to lock in or something. There was that pass to him; it was really high, but other than that, I don't see them calling his name. And he had the jet sweep that was nice, but yeah, he's non-existent at this point, and we really struggled, really struggled today without Mr. George Kittle out there. So now Geno Smith is 1-6 versus the 49ers, and we're going to be looking at a little bit tougher of a road to get to the playoffs. We will be lucky, I think, at this point to make the playoffs. Next week we play the Packers, and the Packers they got lucky today. The Bears missed a kick, so that potentially could have given them the loss today as well. But we cannot rely on special teams. That's been the thing that we've been trying to do this entire season, not rely on special teams. And oddly enough, what we were trying to do today, we were trying to get into range for Jake Moody to come out and try to kick a 50-something yard field goal today to go into overtime, right? Let's all be honest. We were not prepared to go into overtime or to try to throw a 70-yard touchdown. We don't have a quarterback that has that type of arm. For whatever reason, we just do not have that type of offense. There was moments in the game, too, that the announcers had said that a player should be in a different position as far as a wide receiver. I don't know if that's true or not. I know that it does seem like they are trying to make Debo the star player at certain times. And I just don't understand when you have somebody like Juwan who's catching everything thrown his way, why don't you give him the go-to pass on third down? But we tried Debo. So, good game for the Seahawks. Wasn't the outcome we wanted, but that's the game, folks. We give it to them all the way to the end of the game, and then I question that to the catch where we call through the challenge flag. If his knees or he was inbounds, it seemed like they didn't show that play, the replay, very long at all. It seemed like it was moved along very quickly, and then the next thing it it was the fourth down play and stuff like that. So, I mean, I know there's football gods and stuff like that out there, but it just didn't seem like that was correct. Lucky catch for DK at the end. Wow. This was a game the Niners should have had, really, really should have had. It's a game that, I would have liked them to try to run the ball a little bit more, but with Seattle stacking the box the way they did, it really goes to show that George Kittle is that he is that significant to our offense. He is very valuable and very he's a big part of the run game. So I guess this would be my question to the 49ers moving forward. If we don't have George Kittle, who's going to fill the void? And who have we been trying to train up to replace the void when George Kittle's there? He's not getting any younger. So I know every year you should have somebody to be able to, hey, if this guy goes down, this guy can go in. And maybe they're not the same, or maybe they're not that's why they're the backup, right? But we got to find somebody that's, adequate, right? We got to, it shouldn't be such a drop off. And if this team has such depth of a team and we have, such a great roster, then I don't understand why we don't have players that can do other things or do similar things that when we have a key player like George Kittle go out, why wouldn't the next guy who is to play know how to block or know how to do George Kittle-esque like things, right? So again, I look at this game as it's a divisional game. We can't keep losing divisional games. It almost puts us 2 games behind. And every divisional game is almost like 2 games at a time. So I'll let me bring in my good friend, David McNiner. We'll continue this great discussion. Again, everybody, I thank you all for coming. And we're going to bring in David and ask him how he feels about this Niner game. If he cares to give us his thoughts, I'm sure he's really, really ready to tell us how much he's ready for the 49ers to lock in. So further ado, here comes Mr. McNew.
Well, to all you Bosa haters, you people are saying he's not doing enough. He went out of the game and the Seattle Seahawks scored 2 touchdowns. So, Debo, he was there. He had 5 catches for 26 yards. Nothing spectacular, right? And it just seemed like, it just seemed like we weren't ourselves without Kittle in the middle. Why am I so glitchy right now? My computer, when I turned my computer on to join you, it had to update and restart. So I don't know if that has something to do with it or not. But anyway, like the Niners, need to update and restart.
I'm just we've talked about it, and we're not, the smartest, we're not the wisest. We're just a couple guys that like to get together and talk football with everybody here, and we appreciate everybody coming in. We're just a couple guys, just getting our thoughts out about a team that we really love. And we've heard other, we've heard beat writers say it, we've heard announcers say it, we've heard national media say it. There's something just not right with this team this year. And I would like to say, maybe the Super Bowl really is affecting them, but to run the team that we have and not have the success that we should have with this team is really weird. When you have almost everything that you could ever ask for and you're not getting it done, you do have to ask yourself why. And I mean, there is plays that if Purdy didn't scramble, we would have been cooked right from the beginning. And why is that? Are the pass plays, so hard for them to get open? Was the defense of Seattle that great today? I don't think so. I think that this stuff has been carrying on from game to game. And it's another thing. It's like, if CMC can't run the ball, then why don't you put Mason in there? If Mason's not getting loose, then switch it up. When we first had this regime start out, we had, 2 to 3 head running back attack. We had what? Mostert, Breda, and we had Oh, we had another guy there too. Coleman, at times, and we would mix it up, and it would seem like it really helped the whole team go along. And they were calling it the whole game, set up the play action pass, and when they do, Purdy, hey, he only had a couple bad passes, but this is the one that he had, and yeah, he overthrew Debo. And that's another, breakdown. The announcers kind of said it. They should have had Jennings run that play and Debo on the outside. And it just doesn't make sense to me, David, unless they're really trying to prove that they paid him and it's justified. But why would you have Mr. Debo? No offense, but you got T-Rex arms. Everybody made a big deal about it when we got Ayuk. Ayuk got the pterodactyl wingspan. He's got huge width. His length is just, he's the guy with the arms, right? The hands. But Debo's the tough guy, right? But he's the one who can't catch. So when you have somebody like number 15 who's emerged as the number one wide receiver, why wouldn't you throw the ball to him when he has a larger wingspan, can outmatch and outmuscle at this point? It seems like he has even the confidence that Debo is lacking right now, and you don't try him on the play action pass that would have worked, and he would have probably got 15 to 20 yards instead of just a 10-yard pass. I think right now the Niners are really trying to appease everybody on the offense, and I don't think they're playing 49er football. What do you think?
Well, right now we're trying to pass the ball around like we got a ton of wide receivers and, fantastic offensive line and all this. Our wide receiver core really isn't bad. We're without Ayuk, but even without him, we got Juwan Jennings. Debo is not that guy that's breaking tackles and getting yak anymore. He's just not that guy.
He's not.
But then we got Purcell, we got the guy that for some reason, Kyle, won't play, Cowing. And it's like Cowing's the type of guy we could have used in this game because he takes the top off the defense, makes it so they won't put 8-9 guys in the box like they were, and then they're running blitzes. And that's what I saw. I saw them putting 8 or 9 guys in the box. They were not respecting the fact that our wide receivers when they did that. We didn't have George Kittle to keep them from doing that too. As of right now, we're 5-5, Bryant. We got 7 games left, and we don't know what's going to happen. We got to go to Green Bay and beat the Packers. That's not going to be easy. Then we got to go to Buffalo and beat the Bills. That's not going to be easy. And right now we're 1-3 in the division? 1-3. It's what is going on here? This team hasn't drastically changed from last year to this year. We've actually got some players and slightly a lot of people are saying, where's Leonard Floyd? I saw him in the backfield a lot today, folks. And there was a play Geno Smith took off on. I was looking at him like, why weren't you just standing in front of your guy, setting the edge, keeping Geno Smith from taking off? He tried to go around his guy on the left, and Geno Smith goes on the other side and takes off. So there's always plays like that happen every game. But it's just, what is wrong with this team? We drive it downfield. We scored a couple touchdowns and a field goal. He had that tip pass that the pass, the tip pass ended up being an interception. There's always something like that going on. CMC is back, but he's not making the big impacts that we thought he would.
Well, it goes to figure, and like we were saying, when they're stacking the box, and we're not trying to pass, and if we are trying to pass, we only have really one option out there. It does seem like Debo is not playing to his true capabilities. He had the jet sweep that we were anticipating earlier today. And other than that, he was non-existent. But Mr. Jennings came to play, and when we needed it, he came to play. I didn't see any other wide receivers besides Debo or Jennings do anything today. And Debo, you can't really say he did much at all. We had the emergence of our other tight end. He made a good catch, I think. And that's about it. Now, as far as CMC, I think he had one pass, one reception in the game. They had made a statement, he hadn't had caught anything. So we're really not utilizing him to what he used to be or could be. Maybe he's still injured. And like we were saying earlier today, too, if you're injured and you're injured, maybe you need to. Everybody wants to get out there and play. Everybody wants to make money. But sometimes if you force yourself to go back to work early and you're not completely healed up, you're going to injure yourself for the future. So sometimes you have to look at what's best for the future, because right now, is it worse? Is it bad we lost the game today? Yes. But is it going to be worse if we lose in the playoffs? So if you're not available for me in the playoffs, if we make the playoffs.
If we make the playoffs, that's the key term here.
But if your capabilities right now is limited because of your injuries, then let's not risk you. Let's put one of these other guys in there that's done well in your absence, and let's try to move forward. But when we're we can't keep on catering the offense around Debo and CMC if they're not the answers. And if they are the answers and they're hurt, then we're not getting the full CMC or Debo out of them. And we can't ask Juwan to do miracles every time. Sooner or later, he's going to drop the ball on third down, and we're going to still have to punt.
The penalties, we had 8 penalties this game. It's like, got to clean that up. That a lot of that has to do with coaching. Got to clean that up, And I know a guy that defends Brendel and McKivitz. Oh, they've only allowed 1 sack between them. Okay, how about all the penalties they stacked up today? McKivitz, it's early in the game. I saw him allow a sack. It's like I saw them both getting beat up today, something fierce. And
it seemed like when we were getting them rolling, is it Brendel? Brendel's number 64. He had the sliding, falling penalty. They called a hold on that. It doesn't seem like we're getting favors at all in any of these games against the refs. They are very ticky-tacky on us. So,
and those 2 challenges Kyle did. Now I'm not dogging the challenges, because I was looking at it going, he was in bounds. The first one to Smith and Jibba. I was like, you guys are seriously calling him in bounds? You're calling that a catch? Like, his foot he's literally on the boundary. His toe is out of bounds. When he caught the ball, he's out of bounds. And then Metcalf is making the catch as he picks his foot up, but they counted that as his foot being down. But then what happens to finishing the catch? You have to finish the catch, but Renardo Green freaking ripped the ball out. So either way, why are you guys calling that a catch? I don't get it. I thought the NFL had rules. Apparently they only apply to other teams,
It does seem to happen, and sure, we're upset right now with the Niners loss, but it seems to be a pattern on how the Niners lose and how the refs help the Niners lose. There's usually a holding call. We were 3rd and 1, and then we go to 3rd and 11 because of a holding call, and from there it just keeps going back. And I don't know, David. I just think Kyle's not. He didn't tell Brock Purdy to scramble. He didn't tell him to scramble multiple times. He told him, "Here's the play. Pick the best one, and it's going to be perfect, right?" Well, Brock Purdy dropped back multiple times today, and I text you. Brock Purdy's doing a Steve Young imitation or impersonation,
Yes, he was.
Sooner or later, we're going to need a little bit more from somebody else. And I feel like when one of the guys on the team right now is going all in, or they're locked in, right? We have other players that aren't. So, and it seems like more and more players aren't locked in. We had a lot of defensive injuries today, but it wasn't all the defense's fault. You can't. The defense, come on, they're not responsible for the offense scoring 7 points almost the entire game. It's, really, like Seattle's that much of a juggernaut. You could only get 7 points.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Sorry. I'm just watching the Buffalo Bills do what we should have done.
Well, folks, that's probably time for us to wrap it up. It was a good game, up until the end. We'll get them next time, like we would like to try to always believe, and we'll watch it. And they play the game for a reason, right? It's never for certain left or right. Thank you, everyone, for coming. David, thank you for jumping on. Our thoughts after the game. Sentinel, thank you for coming.
Bryant,
Tom.
buddy, I was every time the Niners Coast to Coast is on my channel, it's Manic Monday.
Manic Monday.
It's on my channel tomorrow. I'm about to say, Ty, we're just doing it on your channel for the rest of the season, buddy. It's like
when I can make it, I will be there. But for right now, it's a hit and miss with me, folks. The work schedule is brutal and it is rough. The mail never stops. But with that, folks, hopefully the Niners can get back on track, and we'll see who can come back next week, and we'll go from there. But with that, guys, thank you very much for coming, watching. David, thank you for coming, and everyone else. We said Tommy, Bebop, King Mufasa, John Jay was here. Stuganot, I don't know if I said that right.
Amanda Dream was here.
Yeah, we had a lot of great people here. So thank you very much for coming. Daniel Berry, I see you as well. Folks, we are out. And until next time, it's go Niners. And like Corey says, forget all those other teams. It's Niners. So, all right, we'll talk to you later.
Later, folks.